Namaste Acharya ji. My name is Arihant Jha. I am a third year mechanical engineering student at BITS Pilani. My question is regarding abortion. So there are basically two schools of thoughts regarding abortion. The first one is it's the woman's body, so she is the one who would decide. The second thought is that you can't take away someone's life without like on your own. Who are you to decide whether this particular life should be taken away or not? Right. So this brings me to a place where I cannot decide in my mind that what is the right thing to do in that place, in cases of suppose unwanted pregnancy. So what are your views on this?
See, it's again not for you or me to decide. We may keep saying 1,000 things. Ultimately, it's the mother who's going to decide, unless you overrule her jurisdiction through law or something. So it's the mother who's going to decide. The more pertinent question should be, how would a mother with deep consciousness, deep self-awareness decide versus the decisions and line of thought of an ordinary mother, an ordinary human being, unconscious, bodily, just materialistic. That's where the difference comes. You are trying to look at the issue of abortion as if it is an objective matter. You want to know my thoughts on abortion. You want to probably create a consensus on abortion. And there are so many countries in the third world, in the first world, in the Christian world, in the secular world, in the Islamic world. And they have all been struggling with the issue of abortion since decades now. Even in the most liberal of countries, the issue has hardly been settled, and it's not likely to be settled soon. Because there are dissenting voices, there are varying viewpoints. The church is saying one thing, the liberals are saying one thing, feminists are saying one thing, and time and again, medical science comes up with a new discovery, and that has an impact on the discourse. So all that has led us to believe as if it is an objective matter. It is not an objective matter. It is a thing in the domain of the mother. What's the relationship between the mother and the child, the fetus that is? That will decide whether the mother nourishes it or kills it or whatever. In fact, we talk of abortion, so much because we are very body-centered people. The mother terminates the pregnancy and it bothers us so much, and probably rightly so. But the mother remains unconscious. The mother remains, as most human beings are, gives birth to the baby, and being as unconscious as she is, she just ruins the entire life of the kid. We don't bat an eyelid, do we? Because what's happening in the inner domain of the kid does not matter so much to us. Why? Because what happens in our own inner domain does not matter too much to us. What matters to us is our physical being, our bodily welfare. Bodily, if we are all right, we feel we are all right. What's happening to our insides, we are hardly very conscious of. Similarly, when it comes to the mother and fetus relationship, we are very bothered if the pregnancy is terminated. But if the mother carries through the whole thing, gives birth to 1 kid or 5 kids or whatever, and as I said, remains as how most mothers and most fathers and most people are, we say, oh, it's the normal state of things. Why do we need to talk about it? I'm not saying we do not need to talk about abortion. I'm saying the way we approach abortion itself rules out any decent, in-depth understanding of the matter. We think of pregnancy as something that yields a body. A body is to be given birth. Now, if the body is safely given birth, we celebrate and congratulate. No? That's what we do. Oh yeah, the new body has safely come to the planet, +1. We feel happy. When the body does not come to the planet, some of us get concerned. Who is the mother? Who is the child? What is really happening there? What do we mean when we say somebody is giving birth to someone? Now get into the mind of the mother. And when I say mother, I mean the human being. Get into her mind. Sometimes it might just be right to abort. Sometimes it might not be right to abort. Only a conscious decision-making entity is rightly placed to decide. There can be no objective law. Your declarations and damnations are not going to work. You know, it might sound very strange, very cruel, but it might just be very right to not terminate a baby even if the baby is known to be medically unfit. This decision has to be made by the mother, and for the right reasons, for very conscious reasons. And in other circumstances, it might just be right to terminate even a normal healthy pregnancy. So the entire debate has to shift to the education of the mother. Forget the issue of abortion. It's not merely abortion that's the thing between the mother and the baby. The mother has to be with the baby for several years even after the pregnancy, right? Her relationship with the new being is much wider than those 9 months. Keep that thing aside. Abortion is just one of the things that happens or may happen between the mother and the kid. 1,000 things happen between the mother and the kid, and they are decided by the mind of the mother. So let's pay attention where it is due, to the mind of the mother. That's what needs education. And once you educate it, leave it free to decide. Do not make certain things mandatory, do not outlaw certain things. If a healthy, mature adult has been decently educated in the self, only that person then is in the right place to make certain decisions. Who is anybody else to talk of those things? Only that person knows what the circumstances are. And only that person has the light, the clarity to make the best decision. Are you getting it, please? We want to take sides. We want to be partisan. We want to be either on the side that says no, all life is divine and everybody deserves to take birth, or we want to be on the side that says no, women's rights are supreme It's easy to take sides and it's lazy to take sides. What we require is a self-aware woman. And once she is self-aware, neither you nor I have any locus standi. Leave it to her. But before you leave it to her, ensure that your education system is robust, wise, efficient, really purposeful. The issue of abortion is not significant. What's much more significant is how we are educating our girls. Educate the girls well, and they'll know whether or not to abort. But we don't talk of the education of girls. We keep talking of 1,000 other things. Should girls wear long or short? Should single motherhood be encouraged? 1,000 issues related to women are in circulation. And there is so much debate, so much noise really. And nobody seems to understand that the lady can decide just as any human being can decide, provided you have empowered her enough to decide. And the empowerment that I am talking of is spiritual. I am not talking of the empowerment that gives her the legal right to terminate the pregnancy. No, not that kind of empowerment. I'm talking of self-awareness. Who am I? Why do I need to bring a child to life? Where is the child coming from? How am I placed? The very decision to get pregnant will change. Abortion comes much later. The matter of abortion arises only if there is pregnancy. Even the decision as to whether or not to be pregnant might change. And if there is accidental pregnancy, she will know how to deal with it.
I have two things to say on this. First of all, I think that educating every single woman on the planet enough that she will be able to make decisions on this complicated topic. I think that is possible in an ideal world, not in a real world, because
How do you know? How do you know?
I think because sir, giving that level of consciousness to every single person.
How do you know? How do you know?
I don't know.
If you don't know, then what kind of education are you coming from to think that this is merely utopian? Please understand, we all are coming from a certain level of spiritual education, and it is that level that decides our opinions on critical matters. So you right now are displaying a certain opinion on a certain critical matter. Now that opinion is coming from where you are coming from. Right? So lack of spiritual education is making you think that spiritual education is merely a utopia. Lack of spiritual education is making you think that spiritual education can't be for all. That's the thing.
No, like basically, let's take an example. If we go on a mission to teach every woman to jump 3 meters high, suppose if we go on
No, it's a bad example right in the beginning. We are not talking of jumping 3 meters high.
If we go on a mission to teach every.
Why will I go on such a mission? Am I uneducated?
No, no,
Am
no,
I uneducated enough to go on such a mission?
no, no. I mean, you're saying that we will get everyone past this threshold
Yes,
of
I am saying
understanding.
that depending on what I am seeing and where I am coming from. You see, if you keep insisting, taking your 3 meters and 5 meters analogy forward, if you keep insisting that your height is 1 meter,
Hmm.
and I tell you, touch this point, that's just 1.5 meters high, you will say it is impractical, just as you said that educating all girls is impractical. So what is impractical depends on your own self-awareness. Do you even know yourself enough to decide what is practical and what is not? What you decide to practice becomes practical. And what you decide to practice depends on how much you know yourself. It's a decision, not a situation. Corrupting an entire population seems so easy to us, right? Corrupting an entire population never appears like a utopia. But educating an entire population, and you are so dismissive and resistant to the idea.
No, I'm not resistant to the idea. Like, even if you said corrupting an entire population, I don't think you can corrupt 100% of the society. You may go about corrupting 95%, 96%. I don't think you, like, if it is even practical to reach 100.
Right.
Like,
So your question then, right. So your question then is about the 4% of women who cannot be educated?
yeah.
Then the question is worthless, you see. Leave those 4% aside. Abortion as a matter becomes big enough only when it concerns the entire 100%. If you're talking about the 4% outliers, then you have outliers in every field, then the question becomes irrelevant.
No, no. The question I'm asking is on a micro level, that do one, like, I'm trying to understand, does the mother have the philosophical right to decide what to do with the child?
Depends on the mother. All rights are carried by certain individuals. Your first right is to be conscious, and once you are conscious, then you have all the rights to do as you please. And if you are not conscious, then irrespective of what the constitution bestows upon you, existentially you actually have no rights. That's the thing with laws and law books and constitutions. They give rights to everybody equally. They forbid everybody from doing certain things, irrespective of considering the internal level or the internal station of the individual. Not everything is out of bounds for everybody. It cannot be. Existentially, it just cannot be. But that's the problem with laws. They become universal, very general. And when it comes to touchy things like abortion, that's a big problem. Big problem. So focus on raising a conscious society. Do not dismiss this thing as just idealistic blabber. It is not. It is the only solution you can have. And once you have invested enough in rightly teaching your girls, do not interfere. It's their life and their body. They'll know. But you have all the rights, rather the responsibility, the great responsibility to raise your girl well. Once you have raised her well, leave her.
Yes, I'm not advocating the other side. I'm just trying to understand myself.
See, please understand, without consciousness, without developing her ability to decide rightly for herself, that's what I mean by consciousness, developing her ability to decide rightly for herself. All that you can have is external intervention in some form. External intervention in some form. Either a form that says it's all right, a form that says it's all right till certain months, a form that says it's all right in certain cases. Would you like such a thing to happen to your body or to your personal life?
Just trying to understand. I don't know yet.
Yes, yes, I'm with you when you're trying to understand. Even I'm trying to understand along with you. Huh? We are together in this. It's a very intimate thing. Would you like someone, anybody, to decide or dictate who you are going to sleep with?
Definitely not.
Definitely not. Now, do you see that the issue of pregnancy is very closely linked to this?
Yes.
So, how can we allow someone else to have a say in this? You know, can you have a law, statute, a constitution telling you you should sleep with such a person, not marry such a person, definitely marry such a person? Would you like that?
No, definitely not.
And that's when it concerns a body outside of your body, right?
Yes.
There's the girl and she exists physically outside of your body. And even then you do not want the state to interfere.
Mm.
As a young man, you would be ferociously against such a situation. Somebody is coming and telling you, you know, you definitely fall in love with this girl.
Yeah, maybe I'll rebel too.
You will rebel, you will livid, you'll slap that person. If I were you, that's what I would do.
Mm.
Now think of a situation, the two of us being men have to actually exercise some imagination. Now there is a body inside your body and somebody else is telling you what to do with it. Why should you tolerate?
Mm.
Why should you tolerate? The only thing that you can do is, I'm saying, internally empower the woman to make the right decision for herself. Do not try to bind her in laws or something. That won't work. That's stupid.
Yeah, I understand that. So going forward with a thought experiment, suppose the woman gives birth to a child. Okay, and then later she realizes that she is neither mentally nor financially ready to raise this child. So how is killing that child in that position different from abortion?
Depends on the mother, beta. Depends on the mother.
Will she like given on the current society, she does not have neither the legal nor the philosophical right to kill the child she has given birth to right now.
See, philosophical right you can know only when you know philosophy. So keep that aside. Huh? As far as legal rights go, legal and other things can be changed.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So all that can be changed. So don't say that she doesn't have legal rights. Legal rights can be granted to her.
Huh.
I'm not in favor of abortion, obviously. If first of all, if it was not proper, then it should not have come into being. But once it has come into being, I would definitely want it to take birth and be alive. But then equally I know that that's not a decision I can take or you can take. And I also know that there will be situations when it is not right to take such a decision, when it would be rather better to terminate the pregnancy. And these are very nuanced things, very subtle things. There are several dimensions to every such situation. So let the woman be educated, let her be decently counseled, let her at least be educated enough to accept counseling. You said it is just too idealistic to think that all the girls can be raised internally to that level where they'll be able to decide rightly for themselves. Let's raise them at least to the point where they are open to receive sane counseling, where they are able to have the discretion, the right sense to know who's the right person to listen to. At least this much of education can be given, you would agree, right? So let's do that. And then trust the women.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we decide. I'm just taking a, I mean, just doing a thought experiment. So how is killing a newborn different than abortion, or are they not different?
No, they are not different. Not different. It's just that the situations are different, but in both the cases, consciousness is being terminated. That's true.
So till what age can you kill a child?
You cannot decide that way, beta. Tell me, what does euthanasia exist for?
Yeah,
The consciousness can be terminated when it is 4 months of age within the body of the woman. Equally, consciousness can be terminated when it is 80 years of age or 40 years of age. Equally, a very conscious being in his conscious domain can decide to terminate his own life for a greater goal. Just being physically alive does not mean much. Think of the sacrifices of those who put themselves on the altar. Think of all your freedom fighters. Were they not, in some sense, deciding to terminate their lives? Think of Bhagat Singh. So, how is bodily extinction the final test of right or wrong? Sometimes bodily extinction can just be the right thing, rather the greatest thing to happen.
No, my question was something different. My question was, like you said, before birth, if we agree that the child is inside the woman's body, so maybe she has the right. Then we agreed that even if she kills a newborn, it's like in a way the same thing.
No, I didn't say killing the newborn is the same thing. I said consciousness is getting terminated in both the cases. In that sense, it is the same thing. I'm not saying abortion is the same as murder.
So how are they what I'm trying to say is, if you abort someone in their abort a child in the 4th month, suppose let's say 5th month, I don't know, like when the heart starts throbbing and all, how is that different than killing a child in the first week of his like practical life?
In both the cases, a living being is coming to a physical end. They are the same thing. Now, what's the question? They are the same thing, yes. Now, what's the question?
My question is, in the first case, you said that the mother has the right to decide. Does she has the right to decide in the second case as well?
How does a soldier get the right to kill a terrorist or a criminal or an enemy? Is killing another person, even outside of your body, not within your feet or your womb, is it always a crime?
No, it's not always a crime.
So that's what, consciously you have to decide when to terminate even the other's life, just as consciously you decide when to terminate your own life.
But like the example you gave for a soldier, that particular enemy is a threat to you, and therefore a threat to your offsprings, and therefore a threat to your tribe, I mean your culture, your nation.
No, it's not that way. The soldier is not thinking so much.
No, not as a person, but as the unit. The army decides to kill someone because
is the army always right while deciding to kill someone? Is the army always right while deciding to kill someone? The army operates on orders. There was the German army. It was killing in droves. So why are you trying to justify killing when it happens through a soldier and the same?
I'm trying to justify.
Huh.
Not trying to justify. I'm just
See,
saying.
what I'm trying to point at is, understand this. Even one person killing another person is neither necessarily right nor necessarily wrong. Even one person killing another person is neither necessarily right nor wrong. So, just as a mother, just as a soldier can be very right in killing another person, and a soldier can be horribly wrong in killing another person. Similarly, any person can be either right or wrong in killing any person. It could even be a mother-child relationship. Have you watched the movie Mother India?
Mother India, In when I was child, I don't remember anything.
Yes. So good that you have watched it at least. So, the climactic piece was a mother killing her son. And the son was actually rebelling against the injustice of the money lender and other exploitative people in the village. And yet that's what made the movie so great, and it became a classic. It still is. So a mother can kill the son or the daughter or the husband or anybody or herself. It's not the act per se that you can have a viewpoint on. The act does not matter, the consciousness behind it matters.
Okay. So if we first decide that killing someone is fine when that person is a threat to you.
No, I'm not saying that. No, it's not about threat or something. No, it's not about threat or something. It's far more nuanced, far more nuanced.
If we consider humans as first as a biological primate first.
No, you don't have to consider them that way. Why do you want to proceed on your set line?
No, start here and then build upwards towards conscience.
No,
That I was trying to.
no. If you want to look at yourself just as a body, then that's exactly what then that's what the laws anyway do. And then they give you definitely the right to kill someone in self-defense. So that right is anyway granted to you by law itself. If someone is becoming a physical threat to you, and in the process of defending yourself you kill that person, the law will not punish you. So that is another thing.
So in that matter only, I'm asking, what do you think the law should be? Until what point does the mother have the right over the child?
The law
To
should
decide
be
whether this
educate
yes or no?
everybody. Let's educate the mother, and now I am saying educate not only the girls but also the boys.
No, I'm saying like what happens if she kills a 20-year-old?
She can kill a 20-year-old if the 20-year-old deserves to be killed. What's the problem?
Does she have the right to kill a 20-year-old?
Obviously.
If I'm wrong, like, who are you to kill me? You can.
Who is a soldier? Who is a soldier? Who is a soldier to kill another soldier?
Like that is a different thing, na?
How is that a different thing? A person is killing another person.
Yeah, but like if you look into the nuance of it.
No, the nuanced approach is something on my side. So you have to look into it.
Pranam Acharya ji. So this question was on abortion, and I was reminded of an incident, and I wanted to relate it to you, and then ask your thoughts on it. So I was in California at some point, and sir, I'm relating an incident from California. So when I was like at my workplace, there will always be a tussle at the dinner time, because everybody wanted to go to a restaurant which would serve very good non-veg vegetarian delicacies. And I was the only vegetarian, rather a vegan person in the group. And one of my colleagues one day very surprisingly asked me, given that, you do not subscribe to meat consumption or animal cruelty, are you also pro-life? And this is a big statement in California because everybody is a liberal and everybody believes themselves to be pro-choice. And if you say that you're a pro-life, then they sort of, don't look at you really well. Now, this was really rich coming from her, that, it's very ironic that most meat consuming people in the United States are also the people who are pro-life, who say that the child has a right to live and therefore women should not get to decide. And they are also conflating my right over my sexuality to me protecting animals or disparaging animal cruelty. So this is a very paradoxical view, and unfortunately a lot of people have it. So just wanted to talk about this a bit.
It's very much in line with the discussion we are having. You see, when you really do not understand, when you don't have insight, then that's what you have. Fragments within the mind and fragmented views and opinions on so many things. There is no wholeness, no integrity in everything. On one hand, you are so full of compassion for the yet to be born baby, and on the other hand, you are busy chewing at the flesh of another baby. Another baby. So this kind of fragmentation is there because we do not understand. When we do not understand, then we just imbibe something from here, something from there, and we develop opinions, and we don't even have the wits to know that one opinion is just not consistent with the other one. Right? It's like me not having any interest or ability or sincerity in the field of mathematics. Right? So you come to me and you show me a right angle triangle, right? And you tell me, well, a square plus b square is c square, right? A square plus b square is c square. And I take that. And I do not know where it's coming from. I have never even bothered to ask for a proof whether it's really happening. And then someone else comes to me. And he says, b square is c square minus 2a square. And I take that as well. I have agreed to a square plus b square is c square. But I do not know a thing about ABC. I do not even know what a right angle triangle really is. Even if I know what it means to have a 90 degree somewhere, I have not asked for a proof. Where does it come from? So someone else comes. And this fellow is saying b square is equal to c square minus 2a square. And I am agreeable to even this as well. I just do not have the integrity to call out the inconsistency. That's how most people are. Inconsistent, divided, one thing at one place, another thing at another place. They have multiple faces. Because none of the faces are real. Everything is borrowed. And when you borrow things, they don't really harmonize with each other. You have a car coming from Toyota, and you try to put in a headlight coming from Hyundai, a bonnet from Mercedes. None of these things are really talking to each other or agreeing to each other. And some kind of really comic specimen we manage to assemble. And that specimen is our life. That's how most of us exist. Something from here, something from there. And the very amusing and ugly assembly of all that is called the self. So on one hand, you love your dog. On the other hand, you love chicken. I love my dog and I love chicken. You tell that to an alien and he'll definitely think that you love your dog exactly the way you love chicken. And he'll ask you a dog delicacy or something. I love my baby. I love chicken. We don't see the inconsistency. I shed tears when something happens to my dog. I feed chicken to my dog. We don't see the inconsistency, not at all. Self-awareness, it might sound boring, it might sound repetitive, it might sound unexciting, but I'm sorry, that's the only solution. Without spirituality, all that we are is a bogus conglomeration of unrelated things, not in sync, not in harmony, not in any kind of pretty association. In language of music, think of what happens when an orchestra goes bad. The drummer is drumming away to his own glory, the guitarist is busy in his own world, and what do you get as a sum total of all of that? Noise. That's how our lives are. Nothing is really resonating with the other. Your religious beliefs are one thing, your interest in commerce is in another dimension, your attitude towards your woman or your man is one thing, your attitude towards money is in another dimension, and we manage to still exist and say I, as if there is a singular I somewhere. There is no I.
Absolutely right.
It reminds me on the question of this very amusing dissonance. There's this particular teacher, no need to name, and he's distributing these exquisite fruits around the country. And of the many claims that are made related to the glory of the fruit, one is that it will bestow you with scientific temper. That's how deeply fragmented we are. You take this thing, this part of a plant, some fruit or nut or something, I don't know what. You put it on your body and you will get a scientific temper. You will become more logical, more inquisitive. You will get deeper in your inquiry. We just don't understand anything.
Acharya. So the discussion regarding abortion and all, we as a family went through that. At one stage, we were not very conscious to decide rightly, and we just went based on various medical reasons and things like that. But slowly, as we started learning things, as we started understanding a lot of things from you, if the same decision would have come to me right now, maybe I would have decided totally differently. So it clearly resonates how important it is to be conscious to take any decision, either to abort or to continue. So now, what I also notice is a lot of youngsters take into giving birth to a baby as unconsciously as they say not to take birth. So I have seen, at least in my family and friends, few people who have just given birth without even, I know their decisions are not at all conscious enough. Entire their life is not conscious enough. But I also have some friends who decided not to go to give birth to a child, again equally unconscious. Like every decision that they make is not very conscious. They don't inquire enough, they don't validate enough, but then it has become a kind of a revolutionary trend or something. I don't understand, but they just decide that, okay, we won't have any babies, but again further they are ready to go to any level of battles, and I also see that they are not prepared to face those battles as well. And you have mentioned about bringing women to a level where at least she can question, get counseled, get to understand certain things before taking any decision. So when I face with such people, when they come and try to seek help regarding such decisions. I get confused how to tell them that lot needs to be changed before even coming to this decision. So it would be like they will be in a very hurry to take the decision, and I kind of find myself in a position where I have to say to wait, and they won't have enough time to take the decision, and they end up getting into a bigger battles without having the enough enough understanding of taking up that courageous decisions. So how do you deal with such things? Like, I to some extent I would say that, okay, you are not ready for it, just go with it for now, but keep learning. uh, I end up in a situation where I couldn't answer in any direction.
A child is not a guinea pig. You cannot say I am giving birth to a child so that I can keep learning as it grows up. No, that's just not how it can happen or it should happen. This is cruelty. And a lot of people say that indeed. They say we become mature after giving birth. So giving birth is a prerequisite. Let us be mothers, be fathers, and then maturity will come on its own. This is so cruel. You are trying to experiment on the kid, right? You are trying to experiment on the kid. That's not how it can happen. No, even if you remain without having a baby your entire life, that's far, far better than giving birth being unprepared. And if at the age of 55 you find you are prepared to have a baby, but your body doesn't allow, go adopt one. What's the problem? What's so exclusive and heavenly about having a baby of your own DNA? Is that not violence? Are you not using somebody's body to further your own body? Think of this. When you say that I want a kid of my own, coming from my cells, coming from the mother's cells, are you not using somebody's body to further your own body? Is that not the worst use of somebody's existence? You are saying the kid should exist to carry my DNA forward. What the hell is this? It's like saying somebody has to exist so that he can keep carrying my luggage. How loving is that, please? So, I'm extremely unambiguous on this. When you are doubly, triply sure that you know what parenting means, and you find it now essential to have a kid of your own, only then must you give birth. Otherwise, not at all. And I repeat, having a baby is not something really constrained by temporal limits. Life is a flux, you are continuously learning. If at 55 you feel that your time to grow up a kid has come, that you are in the right position, that it will do great things to the kid if you father him, and that will deepen your own compassion if you sire the kid, then I'm saying go adopt.
But then, Acharya, I also have seen, like, especially women, when they decide they are already in the marriage, let's say, and they have entire this family setup from the husband side, entire family, and this entire family which is in the hope of having this next generation being born in the family. All this kind of mindset is there in the entire family. But when a woman decides, or she, for some reason, she feels that, okay, I don't want to go ahead, then it becomes a very big battle for her to face this entire challenges, because husband or
No,
parents,
battle
everyone.
is there only when you are engaging with the enemy, right? Only then a battle happens. Disengage. Why do you need such a family? Even to be embattled with someone is to be engaged with that person. Even to be in battle is to be intimate to an extent. If there are people who take the woman's body and her life as being centered on her fertility, then those people deserve immediate disengagement. They have no respect for the woman. Somebody who's constantly pestering you to get pregnant and such things, how can you even look at such a person's face? Just disengage.
Yeah, but what I also notice is the women herself is not disengaging enough to get that.
Abhinashi, there is nothing called the woman herself. The woman herself is a hodgepodge, a very unseemly medley of impressions. There is nothing called the woman herself. She is just a collection of imprints. So the moment she disengages, it will do her a lot of good. When you say the woman herself holds such opinions and these things, where are those opinions coming from? Those are not her own. Nothing called woman herself. Even those opinions are coming from the movies she has watched, the mother-in-law, the mother, the father, the husband, and the entire gang. That's where she is collecting all her rubbish from. Disengage.
So even the other thought of not having the baby is also coming from such influences. Let's say.
Obviously, very well said. Very well said.
So that is what I am trying to see. Like even.
But then, a rider here, please. Not having a baby entails running a far lower risk than having a baby unconsciously. In your unconscious self, please say this. In your unconscious self, what is worse? You go out for a drive, you don't go out for a drive. The weather is pleasant. If you don't go out, then you are missing out on the pleasantness. That's the risk. That's the downside, right? You are drunk, you are not conscious. You are not conscious, and there is an option to go on a long drive. If you decide not to go on the drive, what are you missing out on? What's the downside? You miss out on the pleasant experience. But if you do decide to drive, then what's the downside? What's the risk? You know the risk, right? So if you are not certain, then it's better to not to run the risk. If you are not sure whether you are sober or not, if you are not sure whether the liquor has still abated, then it's better to play safe, because we are talking of life here. Your life, the kid's life, and many other lives due to be impacted.
Yeah. Thank you, Acharya.
Pranam Acharya. Taking forward this discussion on abortion, I have a certain doubt on the question Arihant was asking. So, from the same on the same thought process, so how a conscious, I think the conflict was how the conscious being can ever take a decision to decide on other person's life. I mean, if the as you said, like it is very well in the right in the rights of the mother that she can decide to end the life of the child. So how a conscious being can actually come to a decision that this being should not come into existence. So and how so when he asked if the same child has come into life now, and now maybe he's 3 years or 4 years old, and now the mother has come to her senses, probably she is seeing that it is not possible for her to raise this child, and then she decides maybe I should end the life of this child. So how her action, and we are talking about that this is a conscious woman, how this action can ever be justified, and
One by one. There are just too many questions in a flurry here. One by one. First thing, please understand, consciousness does not count numbers. It has love for depth. 40 good for nothing bodies walking around are good to make a pack of animals. In the animal kingdom, numbers mean a lot. Wolves, hyenas, even lions, they go around in numbers. Without those numbers, they will starve. We say a pack of wolves, a pride of lions. There are many of them. Numbers matter a lot to them. Human beings are different. It's not numbers that matter to us. Numbers can be sacrificed for the sake of depth. Please understand this. Numbers can be sacrificed for the sake of depth. Yeah? There's this beautiful story, I don't know where I read it long back. One of the Shivpuri camps, I suppose. So there's the teacher and the disciple, the guru and the shishya. They are stranded on an island. And there is just nothing to eat. And both of them are very compassionate people, both of them are extremely loving people. They have never hurt animals. Never even thought of eating flesh for survival. And there is a lot that happens there, and ultimately, when they come to see that they are probably going to starve, the teacher calls the disciple and says, I am killing myself, and with my flesh, try surviving another few days. Because I anyway had only a few years left. I can go. You must live because you are illuminated, and with you there is the chance that the illumination can reach many, many people. Numbers don't count. Illumination counts. For the sake of illumination, lives can be laid down. Persons can die. Are you getting it? Yeah. So your very premise that how can a conscious woman decide to terminate pregnancy? How can a conscious man decide to wear protection during sex? Is that not the same in some sense as terminating pregnancy, given that we very well know that there is nothing called the soul or something that enters the fetus one particular day? Right? The man's cell and the woman's egg are already alive. They are already alive. Life is already there right since day one. It's not as if the thing gets alive on one particular day in the second month or the 4th month. Right? Your cells are already alive even as they enter the woman's body. So when you are wearing protection, are you not then disallowing life from taking shape? But then this question doesn't arise. It doesn't arise why? Because we are body identified people. The sperm cell is hardly bodily. Even if it is, we are unable to look at it. So then we don't beat our chest saying murder, murder, murder. But wearing a condom is in that sense full-blooded murder. Is it not? Please. Or even, forget about condom, or even the withdrawal technique, that amounts to murder. Because life could have taken shape, you didn't allow it. In human beings, life does not mean numbers so much, it means the depth of consciousness. And for depth of consciousness, lives can be laid down. If killing per se is bad, what do you say of Ram and Krishna? Both killed. Killing per se is not bad at all, because we are human beings. One illuminated soul is far better than 1,000 dark caves, extremely resentful to any light. So that's one part of my response. There are other things you were talking of, please.
So, I was saying, even in her rights, and we are speaking from a spiritual perspective, being a conscious woman, she's taken this decision. Is there any remote chance that law would ever be able to understand this, like the law, what we are
Depends on the lawmaker, Alok ji. You are constantly on the action, not going to the karta, the actor. Talk of the lawmaker. You are the lawmaker. The day you are illuminated, all laws will be fine and rather removed. Which conscious being needs an external law to dictate his or her life? We need laws only because we are living in dark caves. Otherwise, you need laws to tell a Buddha to do his life, to do his stuff. And will he listen to your laws? Seriously? The lawmaker has to be right enough, bright enough. Minimal laws are needed. You can know the state of a society by measuring the thickness of its rule book. The thicker your rule book is, the thicker your constitution is, the more depraved and dark and unconscious that society is. Think of an arrangement between lovers, and what do? First of all, they sign a 44-page agreement. What is certain? There is no love. If as a society, as a people, you need 1,000 laws to govern your conduct, surely there is no All you need is one law with a capital L. And when you don't know that one law with capital L, then you are condemned to follow 20,000 laws with a small l. The choice is yours. Know the one law and be freed of the thousands of laws, or remain enslaved to the thousands of laws by actively resisting the one law. That is the law of consciousness, the law of truth, the law of liberation, liberation with a capital L.